It is a great honor today to be sitting here in Phoenix, Arizona at 4 p.m. and getting to talk to Fernando Massoglia from Chile, where it is 8 p.m. And I'm a big fan of your post on Dentaltown, I want Dentaltown and my podcast to not be about the United States. The United States only has 5% of the world's population. 95% of all people don't live in the United States, and there's 2 million dentists around the world. Only 150,000 of them are in the United States. So 1,850,000 dentists practice around the world, and you're our first dentist that we've ever interviewed from Chile. And the reason I wanted to interview you because I'm a big fan of your 250-some posts on Dentaltown. I just think you have amazing energy, amazing karma. Welcome to my podcast.
Thank you for inviting me to join in a conversation with you. It's a pleasure for me really to share my experience in Dentaltown. I think we need more dentists from other countries to join Dentaltown. We have different views of dentistry, and Dentaltown is a great place to share this kind of talks with people.
So what do you think the average American dentist doesn't how do you perceive American dentists versus dentists in Chile? What's in common? What's difference? Explain what differences you see.
Well, the practice is different. We still have a small dentist practice. We don't do a lot of corporate dentistry, but the kind of dentistry that we do is fairly the same. I am professor in the University of Concepción, and I have a student from Belgium, Peru, Mexico, and the quality of dentistry is the same. Maybe some different view, but it's a common ground that join all together. So I have learned a lot in Dentaltown because different view of dentistry that I do is great. I am a big fan of Lane Ochi post. I follow him. Well, my inbox, the most mail I have is from Dentaltown. I subscribe to a few of them, and well, my wife is not very happy for that, but I get a great time sharing with my experience.
So explain to listeners how you get Dentaltown in your email, because you subscribe to a post.
Yeah.
Will you technically explain how you do that and why do you do that?
I do that, well, I for a few years I was a lurker. I didn't post many, but few people I was very interested in what they were talking. So I opened the profile and I saw that it's a small item to follow, and not only follow with email. Each time that Lane give a post, a mail come to my inbox saying, well, this is the post of Lane, and you can click here to see the whole post.
Who are you following? What is his name? Lane
Ochi.
Lane Ochi.
He's a prosthodontics from California,
right?
And this is one of the people that I read all his posts. Is really his inspiration.
Well, I hope he's listening to this, because I've asked Lane several times to do a podcast or online CE, and he's just a quiet, conservative guy, and he just laughs whenever I say I want a podcast. So I don't think he likes the format of Dentaltown. I don't think he wants to talk live. But yeah, Lane is an amazing man. Now you're a prosthodontist too.
Yeah.
And
so
basically, tell us a little bit about Chile. How many people live in Chile? What is it, 50 million?
Yeah, 40 million, a little less. We have a little problem with the last census, but more or less. We're not clear. Next year we're going to have a new census to have it clear.
So it's 40 million you're thinking?
I don't live in the biggest city. I live in the second biggest city of Chile, in the south. We were famous in 211. We have a big earthquake here.
What's the name of the city?
Concepción.
Okay, Concepcion.
Yeah, we have a big earthquake in 2011, and it was a bad time. A few buildings came down. The dental school was closed for one semester, so
Oh,
we're used to it. Here in the south of Chile, we have the sad record of the biggest earthquake in history.
wow.
So we're little used to it.
So you think you have 40 million people? That's what you're thinking you have about 40 million?
Yeah.
And how many dentists would be there?
Oh, you got me. No, you got me. I don't have that number.
And
We
and,
are.
and what is the decay like? Do Chileans drink a lot of soda and pop? Do they have a high decay rate, or do they have more of a traditional non-processed food, healthier teeth? What would you say the condition of teeth are like in Chile?
No, we have a lot of damage. We are the number two consumer per capita of Coke, of Coca-Cola. Only Mexico won.
Mexico's
Was
one.
bad.
And did you know
So
Mexico just had America was number one in the obesity rate, and Mexico just passed America. They have more obese people in Mexico than the United States, and you're saying Chile is the number two consumer per person of Coca-Cola?
yeah, number two. So dental decay is fairly common, and the access to dental is hard because here it is no insurance that cover dental costs. So it's all 100% private. So it's very hard for people to get to the dentist.
Yeah, I wish you would talk about that more because so many dentists in like the United Kingdom or the United States just think you just have to play the insurance game. And I'm always telling them, there's pretty much not dental insurance in South America, Africa,
Yeah.
Asia, India. I mean, basically 1,500,000 dentists don't deal with insurance around the world. So why do you think it's the end all game when in your country you don't even deal with dental insurance? So do you think listening to the dentist talk about dental insurance on Dentaltown in America, do you think dental insurance do you wish Chile had dental insurance, or do
It's
you
a
feel like
dream.
it would be a dream?
The College of Dentists here in Chile are fighting for it. We need it. If I can help my patients to get better access, I don't have problems with filling forms or getting some things got back. But well, my patients need more access. Dentist work is not cheap anywhere. Okay, so the cost of implant is fairly the same there and here, so it's hard for them. I practice a lot of implant dentistry in my clinic, and many patients has to. I don't know. I say to them, well, you need 4 implants. Well, I can only cost 1, 2, and we do long-term treatment, long-term planet treatment, so it's not easy for them.
They always say in America, the American Dental Association recognizes 9 specialties, and 7 of them are clinical, like endo and prosthodontics and ortho, and 2 of them are non-clinical, public health and oral radiology. And I always say that public health, that we're all first a public health dentist specialist. I mean, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
we're public health dentists. The first thing I focused on when I opened my practice in '87 was that I practiced in Phoenix, Arizona, and they didn't have water fluoridation. And I thought, to practice on my dental office was just drill, fill, and bill from age 25 to 75 when I dropped dead, that was crazy. That the most important thing for me to start on, and I did every Friday for 2 years, is try to get Phoenix fluoridated. And when I go around the world, the biggest problem in dentistry is that the entire planet has gone from drinking water to drinking sugar. And that's why dental decay, obesity, and diabetes are off the charts. So to sit there and focus on how to do a filling or a crown or a root canal is missing the entire boat. We're all public health dentists. So I wanted to ask you, from a public health dentist, the first thing I want to ask you is water fluoridation. How common is that in Chile?
Where water fluoridation is all along Chile. It's implemented many years ago. So we don't have that problem. We have many research, good research in the effect that water fluoridation has in Chile, and we have nice results. We have seen the problem that people are drinking less water, so we are in fluoridation to the milk of children in schools, because low income gets they eat in the school. The school give them food and drink in the day. So the milk that the children drink in the morning had fluoride. And we have seen better, I don't know, yeah, we have the COPD, no, well, the number of decay has decreased in the time.
And when did water fluoridation start back then?
In the 80s, I think.
How long ago?
In the 80s.
In the 80s, yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, America is now. Was it a national policy? Did the federal government of Chile said let's fluoridate all the water, or is it something they decide on city by city by city?
No, it was a national.
Yeah, that's what's silly about the United States. When they wanted to get rid of rickets, it was a national policy to put vitamin D in milk. When they wanted to get rid of goiter, it was a national policy to iodize salt. And when they wanted to get rid of tooth decay, they decided it was best to let every little city and town decide on whether they should fluoridate their water. So the United States is about 74.8%, 75% of the communities have live in water fluoridation communities, but 1 in 4 don't. I just think that's amazing that we've had a dozen people stand on the moon, and in America, a quarter of the cities don't have fluoridated water, and you don't see any national effort to just say we're done. I mean, could you imagine if they put up vitamin D in milk for rickets or iodized salt to every city councilman? I mean, because America, there's just some crazy hillbilly redneck towns that think water fluoridation is a communist plot or it lowers IQ or that, just all this completely batshit crazy stuff. And the internet seems to be a magnet for crazy people. Like, I was looking into research on how many hits the American Dental Association website gets a day, and it's like, something like 15,000. And then an anti-fluoridationist website is getting 150,000. So when you got 10 times as many people going to a conspiracy theorist anti-fluoridation website, 10 of those people for every one that goes to the American Dental Association website, I mean, it's just crazy. So so Chile is far more advanced than the United States in that respect, far more advanced.
And the public health program also have dentists inside primary schools to attend the children there. And they are covered. They don't need to pay anything, and they have the full treatment free for them. Public health, we have a pretty good public health free for that's covered by the government. Okay, it's private insurance, but the public insurance is the only that covers dental, but not in clinics, only in hospitals and in the school clinics. The work in hospitals is only emergency.
So what % of dentists in Chile then work in the hospitals and schools?
I like 10%.
10%?
Yeah, we have a lot of cover that.
Another question I want to ask you is, some countries like Korea, 15 out of 20,000 dentists in Korea place implants. In Germany, most people think 9 out of 10 dentists regularly place implants. In America, only the oral surgeons and the periodontists, they place, almost 90% of all implants. And the general dentist, only about 5% of general dentists place implants. What % of general dentists in Chile would you say surgically place titanium root form implants?
5%, no more.
No more than 5%?
No.
So it's the same. So why is that? Why is Chile like the United States and not like Korea or Germany with dental implants?
Because there's no courses to general dentists to take to get involved in placing implants. You need a theoretical background to get you going. And there's no chances of doing that. It's only a few courses, and the courses available here, they don't give you enough expertise to do it yourself. I place my own implants, but I am prosthodontic. I have a lot more information, more info. So it was more easy for me. But general practice, they don't place implants or do crowns over implants. Is in the dental education undergrad is not a part of the program.
And what type of what I like with Dentaltown is that no dentist has to practice solo again. You know, we're part of a community. So the dentist listening to you right now, he's going to say, okay, well, you're a prosthodontist. Be specific. What implant system do you place? What are you actually doing? What are you placing?
I'm using Horizons, Simmer, MIS, MIS. Yeah, that's the three brands I'm using actually now.
So do you place just large root form implants, or do you also place mini implants?
No, only large root type of implant. In the university we have research in mini implants, but I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. I'm very comfortable with normal implants. For me, it's a risk. I need to see numbers. I need to see research.
I hear a lot of Townies saying that the research is saying that to replace a single tooth with a crown in a regular occlusion, you're going to need at least a 3.5 millimeter diameter implant. But if the person is completely wearing a denture, the biting forces are only about a quarter, and mini implants under an upper denture to make it fit better, and a lower denture, 4 on the lower anterior to have a lower denture fit better. Or for dentures, it seems like minis are gaining in popularity. I was talking to an oral surgeon in Germany the other day, and 20 years ago he never placed a mini, and now for people in full dentures, now he's up to 500 mini implants a year, but just for denture patients.
We have used it here, but for the cost of 4 mini implants, we can use 2 conventional implants. So I don't see no gain. There's a few treatments with 2 mini implants, but the research that we have done here doesn't show more success in the long run. In the long term, you lose bone. So for me, it's not 2 mini implants is not an option.
So what other differences do you perceive or see in difference between dentistry in Chile and dentistry in the United States?
I think that the dentists in the United States are more open to do more complex treatment. They're open to do more endodontics. They're open to place the implant, the general practitioner. Here, not. We are more afraid. There's not learning opportunities for the general practitioners to get involved in this new technique. I see that you need to renew your license in America. Here you are a dentist, and if you never go to a course to update your knowledge, there's no problem. You can be dentist to the day you die. So you're forced to go to seminars. Okay, you are forced to learn. Here, if you don't want to learn, nobody's gonna get up you for the neck and get into a room to learn something.
I always roll my eyes when I hear a dentist complaining about having to take 20 hours of continuing education every 3 years to get their license renewed. I'm like, dude, I took 300 to 500 a year for 30 years, and you're complaining about 20 hours in 3 years? How lame are you? I mean, I imagine if I was a plumber or electrician or a carpenter, I would still want to go learn 100 hours, a year minimum about my life and my career.
Just think how many things that you do in your practice day to day have changed in the last 5 years. I got out of dental school 10 years ago. And half of the things I do in my clinic are not the same that they teach me. Things change, material change. You need to be updated. You can't read a flyer and think that, oh, well, I know this new material. You're doing it wrong. You need proper formation. You need proper training with new techniques, new material.
What new techniques and new materials have you learned on Dentaltown that have changed from when you graduated 10 years ago?
Well, the use of core displacement, the impressions. I have seen very good impression, very good preps. The biologic shaping that many of users of dental are using and show great cases is a game changing. The sad thing for me that I see the biologic shapings of Danny Melker, he has a protocol, but to know the full protocol, you need to take the seminar with him there. And for me, sadly, that is not an option.
Who else do you follow besides Lane Ochi? And by the way, to the viewers out there who don't understand that, whenever you see a post from someone, if you really like that person, you go click their profile, and you can hit follow, and they can every time that person posts on Dentaltown, you can get an email notification that person posts. Who else do you follow besides Lane Ochi, a prosthodontist? Is he USC or UCLA?
USC.
USC? Okay.
Yeah.
Who else do you follow?
John Kanka.
John Kanka.
Yeah. Yes. I like his post very much. He shows a lot of data that's not available in journals. Maybe it's not. You can take it. You can take it like it's using. It's info that is good for me to use it.
Now, a lot of people know John Kanka as a wet bonder. What's the name of his company that he owns?
Apex dental material.
And do you use his bonding agent?
It's not available here.
It's not available there?
No.
Why is that?
Here in Chile, a lot of brands are sold here, but not all. Many products that they are shown in Dentaltown are not available.
Wow, that sounds like a business opportunity. You should import those and start your own dental supply company of just niche products that they don't carry in Chile. Have you ever thought about that?
I have think about it. It is a few things that is interesting I have seen, but not available here.
Huh?
And NTI is not available here.
Really?
Really?
Well, I smell a business. So now I wanted to ask you a technical thing on Dentaltown. So you're Italian. Your father moved from Italy to Argentina.
My grandfather.
Your grandfather moved to Chile from Italy. Yeah. And so do you still speak Italian?
No, sadly no. Yeah. My grandfather died when my father was very young. So my father, he didn't learn Italian.
He didn't learn Italian? So what percent of the dentists in Chile, if they got on Dentaltown, could read it in English and understand it versus could not?
50%.
50%?
Yeah. The young dentists all speak English. They can read it. Maybe they can post because writing is a higher level. Uh-huh. For me, it's not easy. When I post something, I read it once and twice.
Yeah. Well, they call it when I talk to language people, they call it the rule of 5 million to 50 million. They say if you're born on the planet and you have 50 million people to talk to in your language, you have no reason to learn another language. So when you go to countries that only have like 5 million speaking language, like say Denmark or Sweden or Norway, and only 5 million people, then you're more likely to know 5 languages. So when I go to dentist in, like, say, China, I mean, if you're born and you speak Mandarin, you have 1,300,000,000 people to talk to you, so why would you learn Spanish or Italian? So there's literally 1 billion people in the Americas, and 350 million live in the United States and Canada, and so the other 650 million half speak Spanish, half speak Portuguese. So there's wouldn't be a big reason really in Chile to know English, would there be? Because you have so many people to talk to.
But in Chile, we have a lot influence of North America, of USA. So the information, the movies, is all impacting in us. So, well, to develop as a good dentist, you need to read the research, and the research is in English.
Now, some people say that. Go ahead.
In the undergrad program, English is a must-take course. You must learn English to get out of dental school.
But a lot of people, I only know English, but a lot of people, like my German friends who are fluent in English, they say, they're fluent in English, but if they read Dentaltown in English, in their mind, they're translating all that to German. After 1 hour, their brain is fried. And then you ask them a question like, okay, well, if you were going to just pick up leisure reading, like a novel, would you pick it up in German or English? And most people would just pick it up in their native tongue. And most people that speak English second language say it's an exhausting thing. But I was wondering, some people say that Google Chrome, that you can open up websites in different languages. Can you open up Dentaltown in Spanish with Google Chrome?
I haven't tried it.
You haven't tried that?
I have no big problems in reading in English, so for me it's not a problem. I think I can lose some info into Translate. Google Translate is good, but it's not perfect. I have no problem, so for me it's not an issue.
And are there many other dentists in Chile on Dentaltown, or are you one of the rare ones?
I haven't seen one.
You're the only one on Dentaltown in Chile?
Yeah.
Have you told other dentists in Chile about Dentaltown?
Yeah, I have told a few, like two friends that read, but they haven't hooked.
They're not hooked
like
on
you
it.
said, like 15 minutes that they are exhausted. They can't read. For me, dentistry for me is a passion, and the website that has that passion dentistry is Dentaltown. For me, it has been a great experience of sharing experience. It's a common ground for all of us.
Have you downloaded the app on your phone?
Yeah, of course.
And are you on an iPhone or a Samsung or Android?
I have an iPad and I have an Android.
And which one do you like better, the Dentaltown on the iPad or the Android
It's
smartphone?
iPad, but it's because of the screen. It's bigger.
So mostly you do Dentaltown on an iPad?
No, not really. The most reading Dentaltown is in my laptop.
In your laptop?
Yeah, but because I like to open a lot of posts at the same time. So, yeah.
So who else do you follow besides Lane Ochi? You said John Kanka, Lane Ochi. Who else do you follow?
I don't know his name, but his username is Knife. He's doing the prosthodontic program, and he has a few good posts. So I have been following him like the last month.
Yeah. So
but I think nobody else.
So why did you we just had dental schools graduate here, and the United States just had 56 dental schools dump out 5,000 new grads. What made you 10 years ago when you graduated from dental school? What made you go on to specialize? And what advice would you give to young graduates coming out of school today?
Well, first for the new graduates, first don't think that you know it all. You have the tools for basic dentistry, but you need to gain confidence. You need to try new things. You need to get more information, more seminars. And then, if you like a specific area of dentistry, go to do a specialty program and share. Don't be alone. You don't need to be alone in this time. Dentaltown is the easiest way to be learning, to show what are you doing. And if you see the post, it's not little post. If you're doing a composite, an occlusal composite, you can learn. You can share what you are doing, and you can learn from the best that can give you advice. You must share. That is the key question. That's the key of going to a better dentist, to be a better dentist.
And you just said composite. What is more common in Chile, a silver amalgam filling or a composite filling?
A composite filling.
Composites are more popular?
Yeah, a lot more popular. And I don't know, I don't have the exact data, but like in 5 more years, amalgam is going to be banned.
Chile is going to ban amalgam?
So
is that law already passed?
Yeah, they're going to ban mercury. You will.
So Chile has already passed a law to ban mercury in 5 years.
Yeah, for the things that I haven't read it, but in dental school they're talking that in Berkeley they're going to stop teaching amalgam preparation because, well, there is no more. It's not going to be available when the next generation get to the clinic.
You know what's funny is when you talk about mercury toxicity, the ocean is 4 parts per million free ethyl methyl mercury, and it's in all the tuna and fish and lobster and shrimp. And the amalgam, the mercury in a filling, bond to silver, zinc, copper, and tin, is completely insoluble, and there's no evidence that there's any mercury toxicity from silver fillings. But I think what did startle me is that we do get mercury toxicity from silver fillings when the planet cremates several million people a year, and they have these whole mouthful of silver mercury fillings, and when they cremate you at several hundred degrees for an hour and turn you to dust, that mercury does go into the atmosphere. And most mercury goes into the atmosphere from burning coal. I mean, that's the whole lion's share. If they wanted to get rid of mercury toxicity, they need to get rid of coal. So a dental silver fillings are not even a rounding error compared to coal. But just like coal burns it and it goes into the air, crematories do that. I mean, they almost should start having dentists work at crematories to extract all the teeth and not let them cremate the silver fillings in the teeth, because that's when it really is a hazard.
But the thing with mercury here is not about amalgam. It's all mercury available. Yeah. There's no more thermometers with mercury, no more dental fillers with nothing with mercury. We got the best. We lost, but the thing is not against dentists. It's all.
But what I think is absurd about that is the countries that have banned silver filling still burn coal. And it's like they don't get it. I mean, if you want to address, it's kind of like why I don't listen to the environmentalists in the United States, because it's hard to take someone serious who's an environmentalist talking about using solar or this and that when they won't even discuss nuclear energy. I mean, nuclear energy is 20% of America's energy, and you could scale 20% to 100% in 4 years. But they want to talk about solar and wind, which is not even 0.001%. You can't scale 0.001 to anything significant inside of a decade or two and trillions of dollars. Like, if you're really concerned about mercury, then let's get off coal. If you're really concerned about greenhouse gases, let's go nuclear. And what do they want to do? They want to talk about solar and wind and getting rid of silver mercury fillings. It's like, go nuclear and stop burning coal if mercury concerns you. That's it. So what other differences are? By the way, I would have lecture in Chile. You ever want me to come down to your dental school? Or have you ever seen a place?
No problem. I will be your ambassador here.
I would absolutely love it. And I also want to go to Argentina. I climbed the tallest mountain in Africa, which is Mount Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
And that was 19,000 feet. And the largest mountain In South America, it's actually next door to you in Argentina.
Yeah, Aconcagua.
Yeah, how do you say that? How do you pronounce that?
Aconcagua.
Yeah, and what is that? 22,000, 21,000, or 22,000?
I don't know. You got
Yeah,
me there.
yeah, and
But
I
we have the tallest volcano in Chile,
really have,
Ojos del Salado.
have you climbed it?
No, I don't climb mountains.
Yeah, you
I
don't
haven't.
climb
I only ski.
snow or water?
Snow.
Snow ski? Wow,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a lot of ski resorts here. I live, Concepción is by the sea, and to get to the ski resort is like 2 hours. It's very, very close.
So what advice would you give to these young kids? So right now the American dentists listen to you, and 9 out of 10 don't place implants. If they were going to start placing implants like you do, what advice would you give them? Where would you start? How would you get training? What would you do?
Well, don't, putting the implant in is easy. The hard thing is to plan it, to get it right. So I will start with the prosthodontic part, know how to get a crown over the implant, and go the top down. Know what is the end, you're going to know what do you need to put the implant. In now time, you can't put the implant with the bonus. Okay, you need proper training. Yeah, this no problem that a general can play implant, but they need the proper training.
Now, one of the biggest controversies that I smell in dentistry on the surgical placement of implant is whether to do a surgical guide or not. I can give you the names of hundreds of oral surgeons and periodontists who say surgical guides. I mean, we're talking about for a single implant between two teeth. They're saying no surgical guide. You need to learn how to be a surgeon. You need to learn how to lay a flap, see the bone, and with your eyes, you should be able to split the difference between the two teeth, buccolingual, mesodistal, and place the implant. And they don't like a surgical guide to where you're just, punching through the tissue and not being a surgeon. And then there's a bunch of other people who say, oh no, you need a surgical guide. You need to get a 3D X-ray. You need to make a surgical guide, and a surgical guide is better. So where do you fall? Are you using three-dimensional cone beam technology? Are you using surgical guide? Or are you more of a surgeon and just lay the flap, look at the bone yourself, and freehand it?
I use cone beam for diagnostic, but I am free-handed. I use surgical guides, but not restricted. It's like I put the guide to know where I need to put the crown, where I'm gonna put the implant. I choose it in the moment. Well, here in Chile it's not easy to get a fully guided available, so I haven't used a fully guide.
So you're it is very consistent of almost everyone saying that when you're surgical.
So in the end, I think I am free-handed. I don't have problem with the rehabilitation of the implant, so I don't know, maybe I am prosthodontist, so for me it's more easy.
But everyone does agree that the implant needs to be thought of as crown down. You start with the final restoration, and then the implant goes underneath that. You don't start with placing an implant in the bone and then just trying to restore whatever sticks out.
Yeah.
So can you hear me?
Yeah. Now go you back.
Okay.
I heard the part of starting with the crown and then planning down.
So composites are more popular than amalgam. I'd say in the United States it's probably 50-50. What about digital X-rays? Is there more film or digital in Chile?
Digital, a lot more digital X-ray.
A lot more digital?
To have but the thing is this: to have your X-ray in your clinic, is a lot of paperwork, a lot of cost, a lot of requirements. So all a few clinics got X-ray. There's a lot of X-ray centers. So if you have an X-ray center that you do a lot of X-ray daily, it's easy for you to have digital X-ray.
Can you hear me? Am I
Do
back?
you hear me?
I can hear. You came back?
Yeah, I hear you.
Very good. So what else did you want to talk about?
Yeah, I am here. Uh, uh, there's a lot of things to talk about. I don't know. The people in Dentaltown, that is the community that is around Dentaltown. That it got me all the days I am reading Dentaltown. I am seeing the new post. It's a great community. But it's hard to me to try to get people here in Chile to go to Dentaltown. I see that is a Dentaltown in Spanish. I enter a few times, but the problem is too few people. So to get it going, you need a minimum number of people to get it going. And it's sad for me to Spanish people don't have the place to exchange the experience.
Yeah, it is a special community. I'm always sad sometimes when I meet dentists that are burned out, they're fried, they don't know what to do, they feel like they're behind the eight ball, they don't like it anymore. And I'm just like, the best mental therapy in the world is to log on to Dentaltown and join this fraternity of people that are all going through the same issues, the same problems. And with 200,000 dentists on Dentaltown, they've argued out every detail known to man, and just to it's amazing. I want to ask you another question. You were a lurker for many years. You joined in 2006. Most people lurk. I mean, I look at the data all the time, and most all people get on there and they'll sit there for an hour and they'll go from thread to thread and they'll read and read and read, and they don't post. And so how does a guy like you were a lurker for years and now you've posted 250 times. What made you go from lurking to sharing?
Because in the beginning, you love to see what other people are doing, but it's a moment that you want to show what are you doing and share your experience with them. And this was a moment I don't remember exactly, but I told to myself, well, I need to talk with them. I need to show them what I am doing. I want to take the rate what I'm thinking about the work. So it's the when you get more involved in you read you get involved, you start to follow people. You need and you need to share with them in two ways, not only get receiving.
I think the funniest thing about people are afraid to share because they're embarrassed, or they think there's something wrong or whatever. And it's like, look, there's 7 billion people. Nobody's thinking. I mean, every single day on Earth, 150,000 Earthlings die. How many funerals did you go to yesterday? None. I mean, why are you afraid to share? And what I love about, I've had a monthly column since 1994. And you know what I actually love the most about my column? I love to share. I love to share people what I know. But what I also like is that when I share something and someone else points out to me, Howard, I don't agree. I think you're wrong. And, or something that isn't correct. I remember one time, you'll say this, something was invented by this person, and then someone will come back and say, no, that's absolutely wrong. Someone else said. So I think what's neat about sharing is having friends and loved ones in a community to say, nope, you're wrong, and you shouldn't think about it this way. Yeah. You should think about it that way. And it's a lot harder to get wrong information out of your head than to get right information out of your head. And the secret to a successful journey is how do you get the wrong stuff out of your head and how do you get the right stuff in your head. And a lot of times you can't get the right stuff in your head because you're thinking the old stuff. So it's all about sharing.
Yeah, but when you share, you need to be open. Nobody knows it all. Point one, nobody. So you must share and see, and it's good for me to know what I am doing bad. And it's good for the people that join this case in Dentaltown. You must be open to criticism. Nobody's gonna love you. No, everybody is gonna love what you're doing. Okay? But in the process, you can learn a lot.
And I also want to point out that if you're afraid to share because you think someone might be mean, there is a report abuse button on each thread. So, if you place, like right now, a very spirited debate regarding implants is there's an amazing implantologist from England who places very short implants.
Yeah.
And he's placed thousands of implants that are only 8 millimeters long. And a lot of people believe that the best implant is the biggest, longest, widest, deepest implant you can place. But when they debate whether or not you should do short or long implants, it's very respectful. And if it's not respectful, someone says, dude, I think you're an idiot, you're dumb, you're stupid, then there's a report abuse, and we crack down very hard at that. I mean, I look at Dentaltown as a party at my house. and I have this big party, and if you're at a party and we're all having a beer and chips and salsa and if you disagreed, we do it friendly over a beer. But if you started to be mean, then obviously we're going to ask you to leave the party and not come back. So you got to so gentlemen can disagree, and I love those debates because there's so many issues like just implants, whether or not to use a surgical guide or not. That's a huge divisive issue. Whether or not you should do short implants or long, huge issue. Mini implants. There's just so many dentists who don't even think a mini implant is an option, and some of the best implantologists in the world place 500 a year. There's just a lot of the debates. Silver fillings. Yeah. I think silver fillings last twice as long as composites. And there's a lot of dentists who just think I'm a complete idiot for even repeating something like that. So I look at the data and say, no, these last twice as long as composites. They look at the data and say, oh, they're expanding and contracting and cracking the teeth. So, so my joke is it's hard to get two dentists to agree on what day it is. But as long as it's a fun, spirited debate and we're all learning, because at the end of the day, we're all practicing. I mean, no one ever figures it out. And plus, and how could you be a master of anything when there's 52 forms? I mean, how could you be the best in implants and bone grafting and orthodontics and sleep medicine and endodontics? I mean, it's so overwhelming. I mean, you can just barely get really good at maybe a couple of things in your entire career.
And you must be always learning. Another cool feature that Dentaltown has is the mark, that you have a button up. That when I like a post, I'm gonna see it later, or in a few weeks I'm gonna need this, and it's a mark, and I love that feature. So I can save the post and I like.
So say it again. So when you see, you're talking about a thread or a specific post?
Sorry, a thread.
A thread. So you open up the thread,
and in the upper there's a button that says mark.
Yeah.
And you can save it to read it later.
And then what? When you come back on the Dentaltown later and you open up the Dentaltown, it reminds you of that, or does it email it to you?
There's a menu in the right when you can choose my marked threads, and I can review them. There's a lot of usable information that I need to read it twice to get it right. I know language is still a barrier.
Yeah, well, I tip my hat to anybody who can speak two languages, and I like the Soviet Union the most. I mean, the Soviet Union, it's just routinely you meet people that speak 5 languages. Just amazing that someone could learn 2 languages or 3 or 4 or 5. That's just amazing. What is the link between dentistry and medicine in Chile? Is the dental school completely separate than the medical school, or is dentistry a part of the medical school, or what is that like?
We are apart.
You're a part like the United States?
Yeah, we have the dental faculty apart from medical, and all in the basic science, we get the same professors, but in the upper, we are completely apart.
And do you think that's a good idea? I mean, the Russians, a dentist is just a stomatologist. So they go to medical school, and at the last 2 years, you might go into ear, nose, and throat. You might go into gynecology. You might go into internal medicine, or you might go into stomatology and be a dentist. You think the Russian system's better, where dentists are especially in medicine, or do you think having the schools completely separate, like the United States and Chile, is a better system?
All things has the pros and cons. For me, the system of getting apart works. The amount of information, the amount of competence that a general practitioner must have, there's a lot. And you need a lot of time to learn it properly. But you can't form a proper dentist in 2 or 3 years. You need 4 at least. Okay, the manual dexterity is not something that you can read and learn. You need to practice. And for me, it's hard to think that you can probably do it in that kind of program. But well, it's an option. Maybe they have the pros that they have a very very good understanding of general health and the impact of oral health in the whole body. So well, it's good and bad.
So, how many years does it take to become a dentist in Chile?
6 years.
6 years. That's at the end of high school. So the college is 6 years total.
You end college and you enter directly to dental school.
And where do you trace Argentina's dental or education system? Is that a lot of countries? Their education system has been on the British Empire education system, whether it be India or United States or Canada. Argentina, did the education system, was it more part of like a British system, or your grandfather was from Italy? Is it more Italian? Is it more Spanish?
I don't know the England system, but in South America, they're all the same. They're very alike. We all go from college to dental school. In the United States, you have like pre-dental. I haven't probably get it, but it look like that you don't enter directly to dental school. I am right?
Yeah. Let me ask you another question from someone who's been down to South America a dozen times. To me, I see South America mainly 2 different cultures. I see the Portuguese culture of 200 million people in Brazil, and then I see the Spanish culture of 300 million people from Argentina, Chile, Peru, Ecuador, Venezuela. Is the dental school education more homogenous among all the Spanish-speaking countries versus the Portuguese, or do you consider your neighbor Brazil and Argentina and Chile to have very similar dental schools?
They're very similar.
They're very similar.
We have a lot of exchange with Brazilian dental schools, and the language between Spanish and Portuguese is not hard. It's very easy for someone that speaks Spanish to speak in Portuguese, so it's not that big a problem. And Portuguese lecturer come here to Chile and to share the experience, and we go there to take some seminars. It's not a big issue. So the kind of dental work and how are we doing things are pretty common.
So those are all what they call the Romance language, right? Rome started 5 languages: Romania, Italian, Portuguese, Spanish, and French. So you're saying that when you, who speak and read Spanish, go to Brazil that reads and speaks Portuguese, that whether you're reading it or writing it, it's very easy to jump from Spanish to Portuguese?
Yeah, a few weeks and you're ready.
Really?
Yeah, it's not hard for me. I speak a little of Portuguese also.
Yeah. Well, Italian is a Romance language, so it probably wouldn't be that hard for you to learn Italian, would it?
No, no. I don't have the time now.
Yeah, you don't have the time now.
But it's a thing for the future. I must
So,
say.
growing up speaking Spanish, how early is someone in Argentina exposed to Portuguese from Brazil? Since it's your neighbor, I mean, did you start learning or hearing Portuguese as a little kid, or not till in college?
No, the thing with me that my father lived in Brazil a few years. No, like 1 year. So when I was little, my father, for joking, speak to me in Portuguese. So from I was a little boy, I knew some Portuguese words.
Wow.
So from little,
Well, it's
I know.
probably a good thing that I can't learn another language, because if I could learn Portuguese or Spanish, I would probably move. Oh my gosh, I love Brazil. I love Rio de Janeiro. I cannot wait to lecture in Argentina and Chile someday. I think that would be phenomenally fun to go down there. So I only got you for 4 more minutes. We're at 56 minutes. I only got you for 3.5 minutes. So I want you to end on the 3.5 minutes. A lot of these, about 5,000 people listen to these podcasts on iTunes, about 1,000 on Dentaltown, about 300 on YouTube. So what would you tell someone listening to us right now on iTunes who's never gone to the website? They've never gone to Dentaltown. They just picked up this podcast off iTunes or listened to this off their iPhone or their Samsung smartphone or whatever. What would you tell them about Dentaltown and why they should join and become a member of dentaltown.com, the website?
I will tell you that you are losing a very big opportunity in your career. You can make dentistry more happy for you. You will enjoy dentistry when you are sharing what you are doing, and when you see that what you're doing is the same for all. Is a learning experience, a life experience. I can't conceive dentistry now without a place like Dentaltown.
Well, that is we'll have to end on that note, because that is so powerful. I mean, when I saw the internet, I realized it for the first time in 1998, and I really built Dentaltown just for me, because I just so desperately wanted at nighttime after my kids went to bed, I just so desperately wanted to share an X-ray or a case with another dentist. And every time I was stressed out and I'd whine to my mom or dad, they would say that they would say a prayer, or they would offer communion tomorrow. My dad would say, I'll offer my mass tomorrow. It's like, I don't want that. I just want to talk to another dentist. And I just thought it would be so cool to be able to share all your problems and stresses with other dentists to see if anybody had any ideas on what to do. And my God, I never in my wildest dreams thought it would become this big and important. I mean, you could literally share any dental problem you could think of from A to Z, and there's 100 other townies who've already gone through it, and they all solved it differently, and the devil's in the details, and yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And I wanted to reach out to you because I am a huge fan of your post. I remember the first time I saw one of your posts, and now I've read 250 of them, and I just think you're a phenomenal guy, a phenomenal person, a phenomenal prosthodontist, and I hope to meet you someday in your own country. If you ever want me to come down to your dental school in Concepcion or whatever, I'll do it. I'll be there in a minute. But hey, it's now 5 p.m. here. It's 9 p.m. there. Thank you so much for giving me an hour of your time. And thanks for talking to me for an hour. I've had a blast. It's like going to dinner and having a beer with a friend.
Thank you. And thank you for making Dentaltown. And thank you for be kind to speak with me. I think that many lurkers from South America or Spain start to share their experience. They are all welcome. So thank you, Howard. Hope to have you here soon.
I hope so too. And you know what? It's funny because I meet so many dentists to say, I'll say, well, what do you like the most about Dentaltown? And they'll say, well, I live in Texas, and now I have a friend in Australia and New Zealand and Italy, and so it's very fun to use the internet to meet people of like-mindedness that live on thousands or tens of thousands of miles away. So thank you for your time. I hope I didn't keep you up too late. I'll
Don't
see you
worry.
on the boards.
Very happy.
Okay, bye-bye.
Hope to see you. Goodbye.